25 years after the birth of the civil rights movement, the battle against racism is far from won. Tonight on Evening, the Baltimore psychologist who's offering hope by fighting racism with education. And is there hope for this fall's primetime lineup?
My next major goal in life is to see if we can make this happen.
A look at what the networks are doing to save the season. Plus, the World Series isn't the only game attracting baseball fans. A look at rotisserie baseball.
I'm Donna Hamilton. My partner, Steve Avison, is on assignment tonight. It was 25 years ago that Martin Luther King dreamed his dream that his children would be judged not by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. Well, after another summer of race violence, it is obvious that that dream has not come true. But as Steve Avison recently found out, there is a new approach in schools that is changing racist attitudes in children.
State of emergency. State of emergency.
After a summer of racial incidents capped off by the death of Yusuf Hawkins in the Bensonhurst section of New York, it is all too clear that although we've made great strides in race relations over the past 25 years, we still have a long way to go. Racism continues to rear its ugly head in highly publicized cases and thrives in more subtle forms of prejudice throughout American society.
I didn't want to speak to other people that wasn't my color.
I've heard people say that stuff like black kids can't do anything, they're not good for anything, and I don't believe that.
Well, sometimes they used to tease me, probably because of my color.
Many communities are discovering that one of the best places to fight racism is in the classroom. A lot of promising results are taking place in schools that are using a technique known as cooperative learning.
And this was a totem pole.
Students are grouped together in racially and intellectually mixed teams where they openly communicate as they learn new material or solve problems. This teaching method was originally developed to improve academic achievement, but educators quickly realized that a wonderful byproduct was improved race relations. One of the pioneers of cooperative learning is Johns Hopkins University psychologist Dr. Robert Slavin.
The results really have been very striking, both in terms of improving the number of friendships that students have, but also the strength of those friendships. You know, we see kids reporting playing with kids of a different race more on the playground, after school, calling on the telephone. There are a couple studies that followed the kids into the next school year to see if they still had those increased friendships, and they did.
Annapolis, Maryland is a city of stark contrast. There are decaying low-income housing projects within blocks of affluent gentrified neighborhoods. Germantown Elementary School is located in the heart of this diverse population and was plagued by interracial tensions.
You have white children who come to school that really feel that black children are going to be troublemakers. You have black children coming to school who really feel that white children are going to be mean to them, or that white teachers are not going to be fair to them.
This school is now a model of racial understanding and attributes much of its success to cooperative learning.
They're aware of what's happening in society. They have televisions and they see what's on the news each night. But they're learning, it's like learning two different languages, truly. They learn how to survive and how to integrate, how to interact, and how to communicate. I think that that's probably essentially the strength of cooperative learning that I like to see, is we're providing an opportunity for children to communicate.
I think that we're setting a good example because there hasn't ever been any racial, things like fights and stuff.
Good morning, boys and girls. How are you today?
Clyde Wordsworth Elementary School in Englewood, California has a different problem. Language and cultural barriers between its predominantly black and Hispanic students has caused a lot of segregation among the children. Teacher Angela Conti turned to cooperative learning to break these barriers.
It is the ignorance that keeps us apart. The more we have to work together in order to accomplish a goal, then we become a unit. And it's very difficult to ignore that years from now. It's very difficult to ignore that I worked with a group and they were not all the same as I.
Although cooperative learning seems to be one of the best ways to take aim at racism, it's still an uphill battle when you consider what children have to contend with in the world away from school.
We only have children for 6 hours a day, and then we have to send them home. And that is a very, very big problem. I feel that it is going to take a number of more years before we see a calmness develop. I think that we're only going to light one little candle, but that is going to eventually ease the darkness if we keep lighting all of these little candles.
I feel as long as they have breath in their body, it's not too late to give them more information, to give them new ideas, to challenge them. That is my job, my responsibility, to bring about a change, not only in the academics, but in the attitude of each and every individual child in my classroom.
While team members do study together and are encouraged to teach each other, they are tested individually. The teams generally stay together for several weeks, then they're reshuffled so that the students can be in contact with as many people as possible. It's a very encouraging program.
Up next, is there hope for this fall's TV failures?